For today, sunny skies and a high today of 85. For tonight, patchy fog is possible, clear skies and a low of 62. And tomorrow, sunny skies, a high of 90. Outlook for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, sunny on Wednesday, a high of 82 and low of 55. For Thursday, sunny skies, a high of 78 and low of 60. And then sunny on Friday. Friday's high will be around 82 with a low of 60. Yesterday in Fairfield, the high temperature was 85, the overnight low 67. It is currently 69 in Fairfield. And reporting for WFIW News, I'm Tom Levine.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tom Levine over there sitting in for our good friend Mark Turner, taking the day off on Labor Day while we suck it up and get the job done here at the Hill. We're lucky today to have from down McLeansboro way. That was a former life for me, Murfreesboro. McLeansboro way, Jerry Prince. Jerry's here. We're going to talk about some of the entertainment they're going to have down there in Hamilton County.
Let's swing that microphone around for you, Jerry. There you go.
Jerry, welcome.
Well, thank you, Mike, for having me. And of course, most of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of McLeansboro Kiwanis Club for giving us the opportunity to update you on a little bit of what's going on in Hamilton County, McLeansboro.
You guys do an incredible job of finding interesting talent for your festival. And I want to get into depth with you on that and what you've got going on this year as the hour goes on.
Sure.
That's
my pleasure.
That would be a lot of fun. I had an interesting week. Tom, tell us about your weekend.
Let's see. Well, we didn't do a whole lot this weekend. We hung out at the house because last weekend we were in St. Louis, so we decided to stay home this weekend. I got part of the yard mowed and then decided to give it up. So
good.
That was my weekend, basically.
So you got things to get to do this week.
Yes.
Well, I went to a funeral on Friday.
Okay.
And after the funeral, I was invited to the family meal.
Uh-oh.
You know, I'm on this extraordinary diet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went through the line, and they had fried chicken as the only meat.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Here comes, guys.
It was so. I found the smallest wing I could find. Now I've got several people that will attest to that choice. Sat down with that and a little bit of greens.
Okay.
Ate the whole wing. I mean, the
You
whole
tore it
one.
apart.
No. I ate the whole wing, just one bite.
Bones and all.
Yes.
Ate the whole thing.
Everything. And then Sunday at church,
A hankering for chicken.
we had a baptism, and there was a meal afterwards, and I was expected and wanted to be there.
Okay.
But the problem was during the church service, and this is really the most embarrassing part of it. We have a new minister, and we had two sacraments we were doing yesterday, the baptism and then communion.
Okay.
And communion, he had something that resembled cardboard, very similar to some of the food I've been forced to eat over the last couple of weeks, in that it was a wafer. It was a non. It was a non.
It was the really thin.
Yeah, but it was non. There was no wheat. There's all the things
gluten free.
Gluten free. It was peanut free. Okay, so I come in. I kneel at the altar.
So contained nothing natural.
No. I I kneel at the altar. The minister comes through, hands me the wafer, and for whatever reason, I have no idea, I put it straight in my mouth.
Uh-oh.
Then they came through with a chalice full of wine.
Yes.
Where you're supposed to dunk it into Okay. Well,
Yeah.
they had to circle back to give me another wafer.
So how did your energy level come out from all that?
I was pretty excited that I had scored 2 wafers.
Wow, that's interesting.
It was kind of like boom shakalaka.
Sounds like things are looking up for you, Mike.
Yeah. So that was embarrassing. That
Some
was
ham in
embarrassing.
between those wafers would be great.
Yeah, well, actually, one of the Dimanche, who was the guy that was handing me the waiver, had to look and see whether all 5 fingers were still there. I kind of grabbed it out of his hand with my mouth, So,
Sounds to me
anyway.
like we ought to have you down to some of our events. And
Oh, wow, it sounds like you probably got some food down there that would be of great interest
that's
to
true.
me.
Yeah, we got some new events going on too. We got a downhill derby race too, and you could use your energy really to turn on that.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of energy, quite honestly, Jerry. I went to the football game Friday night, and we, thought the Buells played just fantastic,
Yeah.
And we're really proud of the video, our first attempt at covering the whole game, not only in audio but also in video, and that's the way we're going to go forward. It's just like we went video here with this show,
Right.
And so we're very proud of that. Also, had an interesting conversation over the weekend with Representative Darren Bailey.
Oh, okay.
And you heard the story on
Yes.
the news. I think he's tempted. I think he's very tempted to run for Senate or run for Congress. And that would,
Representative, what district are we?
109, I believe, is
109.
in, and he's been that in 6 months, and he decided he was going to run for the Senate seat. And now you've got nobody. I think
Illinois
everybody
Senate
was
seat.
totally surprised by Shimkus's move.
Yeah.
Stunning.
No idea.
I mean, the Democrats candidates haven't raised a penny because they thought he's running again. Why should we even go out and raise money against him?
Right.
Well, they've been caught flat-footed now. So we'll see. Bailey intimated that he might consider
think
it.
about it.
Yeah. But anyway, in the meantime, I've got in my hands on this Labor Day the bucket of bunk.
We want the bunk. Give us the bunk.
You might be interested in that last voice, Jerry. It's one we're mighty proud of. It's our news guy. He does a little falsetto there at the end.
Maybe get him as a backup singer for
You never
some
know.
of the
We
groups.
could have him down there. If you've got some musical entertainment, he
Possibly
might be
could
available.
do that. We
Okay.
do have some pretty good backup singers coming for our Saturday night. But
No.
Good.
maybe
Okay.
we could work this guy in pretty good.
Birthdays today. Terry Bradshaw is 70 today. 71, actually. I did the
Did the math wrong?
did the math wrong. 71, he was, of course, a 4-time Super Bowl champion as the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Came from Louisiana. He's donated all of his records, his rings, his uniforms to his alma mater,
Oh.
Louisiana Tech University. And he has had some brief stints in country music.
Right.
In fact, he was in Billboard's 100 several times with songs. He also has started a new NASCAR race team.
Really?
So he's really, and he's been married 4 times. Do you remember one? Do you remember one? Anybody remember the one famous woman that Terry Bradshaw was married to?
No.
Can't.
Terry Bradshaw and
JoJo Starbuck.
Oh.
You remember the skater? Mm-hmm. So that didn't last long, though. Mark Herman.
well, Terry Bradshaw, famous for the pass.
And made that pass to someone he shouldn't have. Mark Harmon is, I've got 68 here.
Okay.
He got his start in a TV program called St. Elsewhere, which I used to like quite a bit. He was at that time named the sexiest man alive by People magazine. He was on The West Wing and JAG.
That's
And-
where NCIS started.
Yes.
It's a spinoff of JAG.
I didn't know that. I didn't
Yeah.
really know that. He is father was a Heisman Trophy winner, Mark
Yes.
Harmon. His father's name was Tom Harmon, played at Michigan. And Mark became an actress. His
Well,
sister,
an actor.
an actor, yes. And his sister married and divorced Ricky Nelson.
Really?
Yes. So he's uncle to Ricky Nelson's.
The band
The
Nelson.
Benners, yes. And he married. Mark Harmon had one wife, and she was famous.
Okay.
You
Is
know
that
who that is?
Pam Dollar? No.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Mindy of Mork
Mork
and
and
Mindy
Mindy.
fame. Yes. Jimmy Connors, 66 today. Jimmy's one of the greatest tennis players of all time. Was born in East St. Louis. If you asked his mom up till she died, he was actually born in Belleville, she said. She did not want her son to be said to be
From East St. Louis.
from East St. Louis. He won 81% of the tennis matches he's ever involved in, 109 titles, big titles, and 8 majors. Engaged to Chrissy Everett back in the day, who's also pretty good at tennis, 74 to 75. They broke up, and then he dated the former Miss World. He wasn't doing bad there for a while. And finally, he met and married Playboy playmate Barbie Benton.
Oh, well.
You remember her?
Yes, I remember Barbie.
She and he have been married now for several years, have 2 kids, and they live in California. So a happy ending to Jimmy's ranting from the tennis courts. Keanu Reeves is 54 today. Canadian. He was in Bill and Ted's franchise, the Bill and Ted franchise from 1989 to 2020.
The Excellent Adventure.
The Excellent Adventure. Greed in 1994. John Wick's franchise. The Matrix, very,
Matrix.
very big, 1999 to present. He's
Speed.
a Buddhist. Believes in
I
Buddha.
did not know that.
Yeah. Avid motorist and co-founded a motorcycle company. On this date, September 2nd, 1864, in the U.S. Civil War, the Union forces led by General William T. Sherman occupied Atlanta, and that's not good for Atlanta. Lots of fires, lots of burning, lots of death. 1901, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I read through I'll think of it in a minute.
Okay, want me to go on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Teddy Roosevelt, then the vice president in 1901 on this date, said, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." That was one of his most famous phrases. 1945, Japan surrendered to the United States aboard the USS Missouri on this date. 1962, Ken Hubbs of the Chicago Cubs set a Major League Baseball fielding record when he played errorless ball in his 74th consecutive game.
Wow, 74 games?
That's right. That's when the Cubs got rid of him. 1963, the CBS Evening News lengthened from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. In 1969, a terrible, terrible thing happened at NBC. They canceled Star Trek. The show had debuted on September 8th, 1966. Only got 3 years, but look what it grew into.
Oh, yeah.
1973, Billy Martin fired as manager of the Detroit Tigers. Martin was relieved of his duties 3 days after ordering his pitchers to throw spitballs at the Cleveland Indian batters. So that was
At the batters.
at the batters, and that's against the rules.
Yes.
In 1985, they announced the Titanic had been found in September by U.S. and French expeditions 500 miles off Newfoundland. That means they were going to now try to recover some of the things in the Titanic. Now we're in music news. Music news, 1931, the radio show 15 Minutes with Bing Crosby debuted on CBS on this date. In 1978, George Harrison married Olivia Trinidad Arias. She was a secretary at his Dark Horse record company. Cavorting with the help. A rule that cannot be broached.
It was a different time, Mike.
Yeah, well, maybe that's still not right. I'm just telling you. 1995 in Cleveland, Ohio, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame opens officially. And in 2010 at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, Brooks and Dunn played their final show together as a fundraiser. Of course, they came back and played together. All these acts say, we're done.
We're done.
It'll never
No
happen
more.
again. You pay $150 for a ticket to see the last one, and in 4 months they're in Vegas. I guarantee it. Our question of the day was situated in the fact that we're at that pivotal time at the end of summer, Labor Day. The question was, do you subscribe to the theory that you can't wear white after Labor Day? Now, I know you're a fashion statement, Tom.
That's right.
And I know that this is the sort of thing you'd be thinking about today.
Well, I've been thinking of it all weekend.
Well, I figured as much. So we had 156 people vote on that. We have some thoughts. We're going to tell you about the question of the day, and we're going to be talking it over about what's going on down in McLeansboro from an entertainment standpoint with Jerry Prince. We're going to do that after this time out on Morning Coffee.
Carnaby Girls invite you to transition into fall with their contemporary, cool, casual fashions. Multiples, tribal, Charlie B, with watercolor florals on woven chiffon, denims with embroidery, or cozy soft Chanel sweaters in colors of amber, mulberry, rose, olive blues, and heather gray. As they celebrate their 39th year in downtown Fairfield and another change of season, let's all support local. Make Fairfield the place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday 9 to 5 and Thursdays until 7.
Hi folks, this is Sandy at Gill Sales. Listen up, Speed Queen has just announced that they are extending their warranties on all Speed Queen washers and dryers to 10 years through September 30. That's an additional 7 years of warranty on some models. Couple that with our $68 off per set offer on our electronic control models for our 68th anniversary and business special through August, and wow, what a deal. If you've been thinking about a new Speed Queen washer and dryer, now's the time to take the plunge. Come see us at Gill Sales and Service, 1605 West Main in Fairfield.
Tom at Greenwood Pest Control is busy making sure all of his customers are taken care of for year-round pest control. Greenwood Pest Control in Flora would like to remind everyone that they're locally owned and operated. Call today at 618-662-3091 and get on the year-round protection plan from Greenwood Pest Control and Flora. They are located at 8177 Hickory Hill Lane.
Hi, this is Bill Stevens with another time capsule quiz. Which month and year was it when President Carter slapped a grain embargo on the Soviet Union? Then in his State of the Union speech, he told us,
"Neither the American people nor I will support sending an Olympic team to Moscow."
6 American hostages got out of Iran, thanks to the Canadian Embassy. The Steelers stuffed the Rams in Super Bowl 14. We said farewell to Labor leader George Meany and Supreme Court Justice William O. Douglas. And this is what the new music sounded like.
Longer than when I September morn, an American dream. I'll be working my way back to you, baby. Daydream believer, I ran my way. Dream maker.
Think you got it? Well, hold on. The answer and just a touch of the top song from the month and year are coming up.
School's back in session, and that means it's football time. Hi, this is Carrie Book at F&B. Join us for our annual F&B tailgate at the Mules Train Yard on Friday, September 20th from 5:30 until kickoff. We've got free food and t-shirts while supplies last. Plus, bring the kids by for wiffle ball with members of the Frontier Bobcat softball team. F&B, banking, business, life. Member FDIC.
January 1980. Crazy little thing called love.
Queen and Crazy Little Thing Called Love, the top song of January 1980. This is Bill Stevens for tcapsule.com. Back soon with another time capsule.
Welcome back to Amazon Prime One Day Delivery Trivia. Now to the next question. If Adam can get a chainsaw in 1 day with Amazon Prime 1-day delivery, and Sharon can get a leaf blower in 1 day with 1-day delivery, what are the odds their neighbor will order noise-canceling headphones with Amazon Prime 1-day delivery? Yes, Sarah.
Pretty good?
Correct. Introducing 1-day delivery from Amazon Prime. Order from millions of items. Peace and quiet delivered.
Back with the question of the day. I thought appropriate for Labor Day to ask the question, do you subscribe to the theory that you can't wear white after Labor Day? Well, it's been on my mind.
It's been on my mind, too.
Don't want to have any fashion faux pas here in Greater Wayne County or in Fairfield in particular. You know, that's why you have to consult with people like Christy Horning and make sure that you're not doing something that offends. Well, it looks like nobody really cares about that rule. Because we had 156 votes, 1,000 people looked at it, 156 voted, and to the question, do you subscribe to the theory that you can't wear white after Labor Day, it was a landslide. 133 people said no, and the people that said, do you subscribe to that theory, yes, 23. So an absolute, a waste.
We are lawbreakers here.
Absolutely. Corey said, not in the Midwest, but it's always in style. It's always in style. MJ said it's an unwritten rule, just like removing your hat when you walk in a building, writing thank you notes, and never, ever wear white to a wedding. Bertha, I wear whatever color I want. I like Bertha. Bruce says no white shoes, slacks, or sports coat. So there you go, listeners.
You don't want to look like Herb Tarlick.
No, you don't. I have to tell you, I had a white belt, white shoes look going on when I was in high school.
Okay.
Basketball, you dress to go, and I like the gangsta look, but it didn't work. We still lose the ball game. So Jerry, tell me, you got a festival coming up. Tell us a little bit about it, and then I got some real questions for you about how you do this because I'm fascinated by it.
Mike, the Fall Festival is September 5, 6, and 7 of this year. This will mark the 20th year that we have been doing some classic country music on Saturday night. Of course, it's a 3-day festival. We have entertainment all 3 nights. And we've been very fortunate the last few years to draw some pretty good crowds, as you alluded to a while ago. But to really understand our Fall Festival in McLeansboro, one would probably have to go back and look at some of the historical aspects. It started out a long time ago as a farmers and merchant celebration, probably a 1-day celebration, and it eventually changed as there was a lot of clubs and organizations in the community at that time. Each one had their own little deal that they always did. Then it grew up into an event called Dairy Days with the cooperation of the Kiwanis Club, which has always been prominent in the community. It's been there for 83 years and chartered in 1936. And they were always part of the community celebrations. And so they went along with the formation of Dairy Days, which meant that the dairy farmers and they would bring their cows in the courtyard, and there would be exhibits in the courthouse with farm produce, vegetables, and various things of that nature. And all of a sudden, the community got in a different perspective, a different mind, and they decided to do a survey throughout the community and see what they wanted to do for as community celebrations go. And they came back at the end of the survey. They wanted to have a bigger parade. They wanted to have more entertainment, bigger carnival. Wanted to have the parade go 2 times around the square.
Oh, my.
There you go. Let's take a good look at it, guys.
I'm just going to say right here, Jerry, That's not going to happen here in Wayne County.
If you
this
if
craziness
you missed
that
the
you're-
first time, guys, you got a second chance.
Here's the thing. This craziness you're spewing out over our airwaves, this is not going to take hold. That's just crazy. But go ahead.
That was the general consensus of a survey, according to all my research and interviewing people and various things of that nature. And then
Was it that two times around the courthouse square? Is that because they didn't get rid of all of their candy the first time?
there's a good possibility, or someone missed their target if they were throwing candy at someone.
Oh, okay.
Of course, we don't allow that anymore, of course, but that nevertheless does happen. And after the Dairy Days was in for a while, the McLeansboro Kiwanis Club became the sole sponsor of the event, and
so you do the work
for
the Kiwanis Club.
I've been chairing the entertainment aspect. We got a small club, and we all wear several hats down there.
Right.
And I joined the Kiwanis Club 25 years ago after I retired from teaching school, and we got involved in several aspects, and invariably a lot of people are constantly want to know, how can we improve our event? How can we get bigger crowds? And I came up, along with some help, with a suggestion how we could do that.
Now, I got to ask.
Yes.
So you're in Hamilton County, you're in McLeansboro, and you could do something that would serve, your needs there. I mean, for instance, we got Frontier Days coming up in Jeff, and they're really focused. They'd love to have people come up and be a part of that.
Right.
But they're really focused on serving and entertaining each other. What my perception, tell me if I'm wrong, Jerry Prince from McLeansboro here. What I perceive over the last couple of years is you're doing the kind of entertainment budget that says, heck no, not just McLeansboro, Hamilton County. We want folks from Fairfield. We want Mount Carmel. We want people from Mount Vernon. We want a bunch of people to come in.
That you're right. We have constantly, as we've been building up the entertainment, we have people who start calling and inquiring even around January or a few days after the Fall Festival, say, well, who are you going to have next year?
And it's the name. They're looking for the names.
Right. And
because you've been able to get big names.
People, and the price is right. It's free to the public, which is one thing that separates us from some of the other venues.
Right.
And that's one of the characteristics, offering higher quality entertainment that's free to the public. And we also have dedicated one night of our 3 nights specifically for gospel music on Thursday night. But go back, when we first started this higher profile national entertainment, first year I had some of our merchants, some of my friends said, what can we do to bring more people, as I said a while ago? And we got 10 sponsors from our business community. And I would be remiss if I didn't just say many times, we are so blessed with the business community, with the corporations, or some individuals and people who are very much aware. And of course, I'm pleased that they have enough confidence in the guidance that I have tried to give the people, and to acquire all these artists. And but we've gone from 10 sponsors up to about 70 sponsors over the last 20 years.
Wow.
And really what it comes down to is that, isn't it, Jerry? I mean, you're going to have a pretty nice bucket to be able to get the name.
We're basically looking at Branson, Nashville type entertainment.
Right.
And the crowds continue to grow. And the very first, I guess we want to call, when we first deviated from the local and regional talent, like I said, this has been 20 years. I've been a member for 25 years. And we went along the first few years with, like a lot of other locations do, with local and regional talent. There's nothing wrong with that because we have some really very good people there.
Right.
And we kind of got the concept that we need to grow the festival and bring more people in. And I started talking to a lot of people. And the first artist that I negotiated with and signed up was Dan Seals.
Seals and Croft.
That was in the year 2000. And we make a long story short, we've gone on down through the ranks of Confederate Railroad.
You actually wait a
minute. We had Confederate Railroad 2 times. And
twice. What does that say about
2007 we had them, and
did you
They're
have
on
anybody?
the cutting edge.
Did anybody give you even a whisper of a problem because of their logo?
No, sir.
I didn't think so. It wouldn't happen here.
We kind of end up getting Confederate Railroad by maybe accident. That year I had scheduled Shenandoah and some groups of that nature. And lo and behold, 2-3 days out before the festival, got a call and said, we're not going to be able to do your gig down there, your show. We've had a bus break down up here. Our bus is broken down.
Oh, my.
Well, let's send you one.
So they said, we're going to send you up another act. And they said, you probably will enjoy them. Said it's going to be Confederate Railroad. I said, bring them on. So they came up and did a heck of a show. Great show.
Right.
And it was so good that several people said, hey, you really ought to have those guys back. So we did. We had them back. But during that time frame when you and I were talking about that till we came up with Confederate Railroad, we had already done Jimmy Dickinson, T.G. Shepard, Mel McDaniel. We had done Oak Ridge Boys, Bill Anderson, Mel Tillis, Larry Gatlin, the Gatlin brothers.
Right.
I remember him. He really liked us. He said, you guys have real mashed taters down there. He called them mashed taters. And Jimmy Dickens, when he left,
they have lumps.
Jimmy Dickens had got on the bus and already had started out about a half a block and it stopped. And I said, my gosh, I guess they've forgotten something. And we always serve them a good home-cooked meal.
They lost little Jimmy.
We always do a good home-cooked meal for all the guys, as per our contract or tech writer says.
Right.
We'd had some good country cooking on the menu, and he came back. He said, I'd like to have some more of that corn pudding to take with me.
All right. Well, let me. So when you negotiate these contracts, and we want to get to be able to talk a little bit about the ones you've got coming this year, what's the oddest thing that they've said that they had to have? You know what I mean? You're negotiating it. You're coming up with a price.
In addition, yes.
And they say, okay, well, here's the thing. We're going to bring our buses in here, and we're going to stay the night here. This is what you have to have for us.
Well, first of all, we don't have any hotels in McLeansboro.
Okay, they got to stay in their buses.
No, not either that, or else we make other arrangements, which we have done.
Okay.
But there's the tech writer, all the ramifications that we have to meet, for as the stage and lighting and the sound system itself.
But nothing like I want all green M&Ms in my.
Yes, sir. We have negotiated that. It's highly negotiable on the 3 brown M&Ms and 2 black ones, something like that. 2 green ones or 2 red ones, and a certain type of meal, a certain type of Coca-Cola brands, RC, Pepsi-Cola, various things like that, and of course it's common sense approach after a point, but we've never had any problems going from point A to point B, and they've never failed to show up. But we always have negotiated it out. But yes, there's the price, obviously, and
could I ask? And Tom, you're welcome to jump in here.
Okay.
But could I ask, what is it? Is it a big secret? What all you have to raise to be able to put on the entertainment?
Yeah. What's your budget?
The budget varies from year to year, but it has grown in the last several years. The first year that we did the Dan Seals concert,
right,
I raised $2,500 with 10 sponsors. But we have grown quite substantially since Dan Seals' era, up to several $1,000s, guys, and several $1,000s it takes, and sometimes the artist, if you can catch them going from point A to point B, that's halfway close, they might be able to. We might be able to negotiate just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're moving from Dallas to Chicago. They might stop in
McLeansboro
on the way.
Play a show.
Doesn't happen very often that way, but sometimes if they're routed, maybe within 2 or 3 days, they're a little bit easier to negotiate with.
So tell me, go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
Now, wasn't it last year, or year before? You had did you not have Lee Greenwood?
Last year we had Lee Greenwood, Sawyer Brown, and the Isaacs.
Okay.
And that was probably our biggest effort we had made. The year before that, we had Exile, Jimmy Fortune,
Oh,
Marty
yeah.
Haggett. Tried a new concept, the
Right.
multifaceted concept with relatives of certain famous people. You know, we had Michael Twitty, Georgette Jones,
Had the
Marty
kids.
Haggart, and Jimmy
Yeah.
Fortune.
Yeah.
And before that, we had
That's a great theme song.
Gene
Yeah.
Watson, Mo Bandy, and Marty Haggart. Again,
Wait, this list that you're looking at. This is a Grand Ole Opry Hall of Fame list.
John Conley, Jenny Fricky,
Yeah.
Bellamy Brothers, Larry Gatlin, we mentioned a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
Today, what are we looking for now?
Well,
What's coming
today, coming up on
What's coming up? Yes.
September 5, 6, and 7, we have 3 nights. First night on Thursday, we will once again follow the tradition with a gospel group. We have the Gospel Messengers. That's a good group that I saw these guys grow up the last few years, and they do a good job with some traditional 50s, 60s, 70s gospel music.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got George Ports from up around the St. Louis area with Bluegrass and Friends of Bluegrass. Had George years ago
Yeah.
when I first started looking these people in, and he has grown quite a bit since then.
I think there's a real love for bluegrass in this region.
And
Right.
Friday night, we have the Daly and Vincent Show.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Ooh.
Very exciting.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Very exciting group. Opening up for them will be the Grange
They've
Hall.
won the